I'm not sure what day it is today. After about 20 minutes and in a dead panic, not knowing where he was in such a small area, never being there, I knew I was in trouble.
What would you do if your child goes missing? Comment below, I really want to know. Would you just sit back and have everyone else do the work for you? Would you have excuses of why your child is missing? Or will it be actual legit of, hey, my child is missing, I don't know what to do? Well, here's a case that really bothers me more than any other cases that I've investigated and worked on. And I'm going to show you why. And by the first maybe 60 seconds of this video, you guys are probably going to feel the same way. This case is over 8 years old and it's still not solved. So I decided to jump in and look into it to see what I can find out as far as my intuitions and the abilities that I have to look into missing people. There is a child named Dior. I should say there was a child named Dior, and I'll tell you why I'm saying was. Why is the wind picking up? I'm sitting in my backyard. It's such a beautiful night. Why not, right? Like I said, it's an 8-year-old case. Apparently, this toddler, 2-year-old named Dior, went missing in July of 2015. He went camping with his parents. Apparently, a friend of theirs and the great-grandfather. Now, obviously, great-grandfather would not make his grandchild or great-grandchild disappear. So who are we gonna look at? Who is the other people that were there? You guys know that I could read through people. As I'm listening to this interview, and I am not just looking at the body language, but I'm also looking at if they're telling the truth or not. Like, I'm a walking, talking lie detector test, so I'll be able to see if somebody's lying or not, or if they're trying to cover something up. Now, there's an investigator, Klein, that has been on this case for many years.
The questions need to be answered for the family.
Apparently, Dior's parents hired him to look for this child, but the evidence wasn't adding up to what the parents were saying. It wasn't adding up. They kept changing the stories around a little bit. The timeline isn't adding up. So investigator Klein, being a smart man that he is, he turned the tables on the parents. Yes, the parents are the ones that hired him for this investigation, but he was starting to put 2 and 2 together. These parents that hired him to find their missing 2-year-old son is now possibly the suspect. Even that little bit of guilt that people have, that instinct, that could blow up the case wide open and actually solve the mystery behind the disappearance of this kid. I was looking at interviews, I was reading people by their energy, by their face. To be honest with you, I don't believe that investigator Klein is that far off with his hunch of possibly the parents have done this. They're behind the disappearance. Me looking into digging it deeper from the other side, and you guys know what I'm talking about. Some of the things that he was saying, I understand why he would say those things about the parents. Interviews that I've seen the parents do, there was one that's an unedited, uncut interview. I'm going to show you guys this. You guys will see why I'm siding with Klein, and you'll see word for word of this investigation. And then I'm going to give you guys my input. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on what I have picked up, where this child might possibly be at. I don't think he's there now. I mean, this is a couple years later, but there is a very good chance that there is evidence still left that they could find and locate this child. I'm talking about this child's remains. This video is definitely not for kids. I'm saying it right now. Viewer discretion is advised. Airplane. Since it has to do with the missing child, I am going to try to be a little bit more sensitive in this video. Normally I'm not. Normally my claws come out. I'm going to try to be a little bit sensitive in this video, but I can't promise anything. Let's go ahead and watch this together. It's a short video of the interview of the parents, and I'm going to walk you guys through what I think about what these parents are saying, where they could possibly find the child.
All right, Dior, so take us back. Was it Friday?
I'm not sure what day it is today.
Today's Monday. It was Friday.
It was Friday.
Friday at about 2:26 is when was it 2:26?
It was 2:36 when I called.
It was 2:36 is when she called, and I was in the truck hauling down to the road trying to get service because I didn't think one bar would get it. So she got very, very lucky. I was blessed that she was able to get service because I didn't want to try and risk getting halfway through my talking to the 911 and have it cut off. So I went down to where I knew I can get a little service about a half mile down the road. We searched for After about 20 minutes,
Okay, stop for a second. Stop. Number one, you don't know what day your son went missing. That will be a day, it will never leave my mind. It will be embedded in my head for the rest of my life. I will never forget that day. What type of a parent can you be where you just nonchalant, oh yeah, my kid went missing, that's it. I don't know what time, I don't know what day. Who does that? Are you kidding me? Number two, he did not want a chance being on the call with 911 about his missing child. So he went about half a mile down the hill to make that call. Half a mile is gonna make a big difference, number one. And number two, really? I'll tell you what I think in just a second so far.
we searched for, after about 20 minutes and in a dead panic, not knowing where he was in such a small area and not knowing, never being there, I knew I was in trouble.
I can't even fathom, I can't even get into my head of your son disappeared and you're making light of the situation. Listen, I don't care how many times I'm gonna have to call 911 if it was me in their situation. I don't care how many times the call dropped. I'm gonna be on the phone with 911. Even if it's 100 times until they get their butts there and help me. I don't care how many times. I will be running down that hill with my hand up in the air looking for service as I am screaming through the speaker to 911. These people are a disgrace. Some people do not deserve to be parents. So you notice how after everything the dad is saying, he has an excuse for it, so you could concentrate on that. Who gives a shit if you've ever been there or not? He's trying to pinpoint key things out there for us so we can concentrate on that. Oh, your child disappeared. You guys went camping. Normally when people go camping, they know where they're going. Like, I've been to camping pretty much all my life, to many different lakes, many different places, and I know where I'm going. I know what each place is. So for him to pinpoint, which we've never been there at, that's not gonna help with your case, because number one, we don't give a shit if you know or not. And number two, a red flag goes up. Why are you saying that? Why are you specifically saying I've never been there? So in other words, your son disappeared and you have no idea how, who, when, where, why, nothing, because you don't know the location. That makes absolutely no sense. And they searched for 20 minutes before they decided to call 911. Now the weird thing to me is, this is where I have a question with the investigators, because I want to know what the investigators think about this when they determine the parents are not guilty. Have they checked the area, the half a mile gap from where they were up here, now they're down here, calling 911 to make sure they get better service? Have the investigators gone up that half a mile to check and see if there's actual phone service there, or if these people are lying? That's what I would have done. I don't know if they did or not, but apparently it doesn't really look like they did a good job.
So we decided to call search and rescue, and that's when I drove down. She tried getting a signal out. As soon as I got a hold of them, they told me that she was on the other line with them and they had our location and they were on our way.
So hold up, back up. They just contradicted themselves. Exactly what I just said. He left to go half a mile to call 911. She didn't go with him. They were both together on 911. She's up here and he's down here. Am I hearing it right? Let's go back for just a quick second, because they did just contradict themselves. This is the first time of me watching this interview with you guys. This is like a raw footage of me watching this the first time. So I'm trying to put the puzzle pieces together. But where I came up to the conclusion of what I'm going to tell you guys at the end is by other things that I had seen during this investigation. My conclusion is not all based off of what I'm watching with you guys right now. It's based off of other things that I was looking into myself.
So we decided to call search and rescue, and that's when I drove down. She tried getting a signal out. As soon as I got a hold of them, they told me that she was on the other line with them and they had our location and they were on our way.
He knew he was in trouble. He just doesn't know how much of a trouble he's going to be in, even more so.
They were amazing. They are amazing and they still continue to be. Lemhi County Sheriff and Salmon Search and Rescue, you could not ask for a better group of people, volunteers and search and rescue, and just everybody.
So what he's doing right now in this moment is he's making himself look like he's the good guy by sticking his head up the sheriff's department and the investigators and the search and rescue. His head was so far up their butt that he was trying to make himself look like the good guy. Oh, look, you guys, I'm praising you. I'm saying good job in front of the world, so they can like him, so they can exclude him from being a suspect.
You couldn't ask for better people. So sincere, so concerned. And everybody was so emotionally attached to this, as anybody would be of a 2-year-old. He's pretty small for his age, but he moves pretty good.
Listen to this.
Everybody was so emotionally attached to this.
Everybody was so emotionally attached to this. Not attached to my son. Not the fact that they're attached because he's a baby that's missing. But he is considering this whole scenario to be a joke. Everybody's attached to this. What do you mean to this? Don't you mean everybody's attached to this case regarding my son? Don't you think that you should have worded it a little bit better?
And that was our concern. He was right with us. Where it's at is, I thought it would be perfect to go camping there because it's enclosed by walls of mountains and there's not much space around there that he could go.
Okay, so normally when people say that, when they want to commit a crime, obviously they're going to go to places where there's not a lot of people and it's secluded, so they don't get caught. So not too many people know where they're at. If you notice, he's surrounded by mountains. It's secluded. It's a small place. It's a small area where the child cannot go too far. Well, he screwed up because it's not a small area. He should have done his research a little bit more.
And our biggest concern was the creek, which was knee deep, a few feet wide.
The creek? You mean the creek?
But he's a little guy. They finally, yesterday, we were able to put that to rest, and Lehigh County Sheriff, Sheriff Dave, and the rest of the sheriffs have put out that they assured me there is 100% chance that he is not anywhere in that water, around that water. They have torn that.
So the investigators pretty much had to assure him or reassure him that their child is nowhere near the water or inside the water. Remember these words until the end. Not only that, listen to this. Why do they have to reassure you? Don't you know where your child was last? Where did you lose your child? You lost your child. Where was that child last? You need somebody to reassure you. You don't know where your kid was at. According to investigators, this is what they said. The parents said that supposedly they were gone for however long, 10 minutes, 15, I don't know, however long minutes they were gone for, to look for a good fishing spot. Listen to this. Put two and two together, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. So the parents are going to look for a very good spot to fish. They were gone for, I don't know, however long. Assuming they thought that the great-grandfather of this child was watching the kid. The great-grandfather thought the parents were watching the kid. Now let me pause for a quick second. If you are a parent and you're in a spot where he admits, oh, it's the creek, he's so small, something could happen to him. Even though the water is knee deep, he could still be in trouble if he gets in the water. Something could happen to him. They are by a body of water. They are near a body of water. It only takes you 10-15 minutes to go find a good fishing spot and come back. I'm jumping all over the place, but stay with me. If it only takes you that much, even an hour, it doesn't matter. You could have stopped and fished for a little bit after you found that spot and then went back to camp. It doesn't matter. You are near a body of water. He just admitted in this interview they're close to a body of water, especially when he keeps talking about they were by a creek and how much trouble his son would get. And thank God the investigators are reassuring him. Reassurance, according to the father, is, oh, thank God they're not going to search by the water. That's what he's saying. And I'll tell you why that pisses me off at the end. So keep watching. Wouldn't you, as a parent, double check, triple check, especially a 2-year-old? You guys are close to a body of water. I don't care if it's knee deep or ankle deep. Number one, how's the great-grandfather? No offense to him. I don't know how him with his age, and he didn't look like he was in great health, could be watching a 2-year-old toddler that has a needle in his butt, because that's what babies do. They have a needle up their asses. They like to run around and play. They don't sit still. So how are they saying that the great-grandfather was going to watch this kid? Not only that, if the great-grandfather knew about them saying, hey, can you watch the child for us for a few minutes? We'll be right back. He would have said, yeah, the child was with me. The parents told me the child was with me and it disappeared. He passed a polygraph test. He had nothing to do with the child's disappearance. The friend that was there with them passed a polygraph test. He had nothing to do with it either. The parent failed not one, not two, not three, but 4 different polygraph tests. They failed. And their claim is, oh, we were under so much stress. You don't know the situation. But yet the father, the piece of shit, sitting over here with the smirk on his face, making light of the situation, doesn't even know exact day of the week that his son disappeared? Come on. We don't have stupid tattooed on our forehead. So let's move on.
Creek upside down and in and out. Divers have gone through wetsuits.
This is where I'm putting all the puzzle pieces together. He's saying the investigators, the divers, and their dive suits go and check the water. After he said, oh, thank goodness, they said, the investigators in the sheriff's department said that there's no chance the child will be in the creek or around the creek. My question is, this is what I'm seeing, and this is what I want the investigator Klein to dig deeper and drill the parents. They're both mentally unstable. I'm telling you right now, and you'll see why. Besides the obvious. They're saying, thank goodness the kid is not there. My question is, could it be where these people are claiming they lost their child, the location, the area where they were at, where the child went missing or was last seen? Could they have possibly led the investigators in a different spot? Not where the child was last seen, not where the child could possibly be, and not where the grandfather said. No, I'm sure that these people, these animals right here, led the investigators to a different spot. This is why the parents were so calm and cool and collective about, hey, go ahead. They didn't call authorities for 20 minutes after the child went missing. Supposedly they were looking. That's plenty of time. That's miles and miles that they could have driven to a whole different location to claim that this was their campground and this is where their child went missing. So investigators can concentrate on that one location. Have they thought about that? Because I have. And whether they did or not, I still don't think the investigators did a damn good job about trying to find this kid.
Along with the helicopter, that was the world's most advanced search and rescue helicopter, volunteered out of Montana. And those guys were just amazing. The accuracy they had with the night vision ability it has and the heat range it can see. They were, the one guy, I can't remember his name. I've met so many people, so many good people, but his own safety, he was more or less, he was strapped in and he was on the side of that helicopter looking, and he was looking down. I remember them telling me that they asked the search and rescue to go look over because there was an orange insect repellent can, they think, by the bank, and they were dead on. That's what it was. That's how accurate these guys are.
They thought it was.
You know how to catch a liar? When you just let them talk and talk and talk. Because the more they talk, the more they're going to incriminate themselves. Some of the details that the parents, the dad is saying, that makes absolutely no sense. I don't care. It's not relevant to what happened to your kid. Stop trying to throw people off this case. Now listen to this bimbo.
It might have been like a part of a shoe
or something,
but they said go check that out.
That these guys search miles, so the mile radius they have is, it is a very rocky terrain. It is very open, but it's not, the helicopter that used is used to back very deep Montana. It is designed for a lot worse situations than this, and there was not a trace of my son found.
And you're just so calm and cool and collective about it. There's not a trace of my son found. I mean, the investigators were great. They were so amazing to let us go after our son mysteriously just disappeared and we failed 4 different lie detector tests. Right.
There still isn't, but the search is on. That's the hearsay of things has kind of gotten way out of hand. The search is so far has been put on that has been suspended, and that is not entirely sure or true. Sheriff Dave of Lemhi County, I just spoke with him on the phone this morning. He has got horseback riders and trackers up there right now, and very, very advanced professionals. I'll be going up and I've just come down to get any resource I can get to go back up today.
Okay, if he says one more time, I'm gonna shove that up his ass. When can you please cool it for a little bit? Thank you. Notice the body language for these two pathetic so-called parents. The dad, he's sweating under that hat. You could see his face. He is the whole entire time. Can't even get a story straight. Constantly, instead of answering the question, taking the answer, flipping it around and putting it on the investigators and the sheriff's department for people to concentrate on them instead of what happened to your child. The only thing he keeps saying that he's concentrating on, what he wants the viewers to see as well, is there's no sign of my son. The investigators went here and here and here and here, and see, our hands are clean. They can't find our son, then how can we find our son? We don't know where he's at. Shut the f. And look at this bimbo right here. Look at this pathetic piece of shit. that calls herself a mother. What kind of a mother would sit there in a coward position, validating what the husband is saying so we could believe him even more, right? Hoping that we're looking at them like they're the victims. The child is the victim, not these two pieces of shit. And that's what they're doing. She's like, please, God, let this interview be done and over with so I don't have to think about it anymore. I need to go home and take a shower because I'm sweating under my arms and under my boobs so much right now. Are you kidding me? These two pathetic losers, they don't deserve to be called parents.
What questions did you guys have?
Tell us a little bit about.
He knew he fucked up when he said, so what questions do you guys have? Oh shit, dummy, are you stupid? Why the hell did I just ask that question? Because now I know that for real, 100%, now they're really gonna ask me questions.
First off, how are you guys holding up? I know a lot of people are praying for you, they're concerned.
Friends and family, and hoping to be
support
strong for
around
him.
us is what's, I know, keeping me together, because if we didn't have all of our family, the minute I called my mom and she was up there in a matter of hours. And
Pippi Longstocking, oh, thank you so much for my supporters over here. Not supporting the child, but you guys are supporting me because I don't know, I lost my kid. Shut up. Sorry, I told you I'm gonna try to be sensitive, but it's kind of hard when you're watching these kind of pathetic pieces of shit that call themselves parents.
same with the rest of our family, they were just up there around us.
Yeah, luckily, I had a few phone calls is all it took at first. And we had, just as Sheriff Davis said to the news, there was 175 plus people up there in the grid searches, volunteers, professionals, and anybody I called, there's the service up there is very here, there, it's camping, you know? We're trying to hold up the best we can, but we have hope is the thing. Hope is what keeps it going. Hope is because the search is not over. Search is not done. We will find him, no matter what.
You were in the truck, so was it you that first realized, oh no, Dio's not here?
No, we both did.
No, we both did.
After 20 minutes of up and down the creek and up and around the camp, and he wasn't there, that's when I got in my pickup truck and.
Okay, again, you guys notice, after a few minutes or 20 minutes of up and down, driving up and down the creek, not the creek, you idiot, learn how to talk, the creek, can you imagine what he... I literally have no words. For the first time in my life, I literally have no words. I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys think I should team up with Klein, investigator Klein, to find this boy? Oh my gosh. I have no words. Listen to this. Just listen.
Drove down the road to try and get some service.
Yeah, especially after screaming his name, we have nicknames for him. No sound of him,
This little
no
boy
crying.
is not, he's a goer and a mover, but he does not go away from his parents. He does not.
Yeah, he's very
So
attached
this
to
is
us.
very unusual.
Very, very unusual, sir.
And we didn't hear people around us. We didn't see anybody. We have...
What did I say? Isolated, right? That's where killers like to go. They like to go to isolated places so they can dispose of a body and nobody would know. And then you can easily throw investigators off to the other side of the creek so they don't go to the side of the creek where the son actually disappeared from.
Have you told them about the EMT bag? That needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I know social media can be a good thing, but it can also
That's
be a bad
the
thing.
We just
one
don't
of the
want
walls
anything
we're going up against.
twisted.
Yeah, we don't want to twist it. So clear up any rumors that you've seen or heard.
We've...
Yes, please clear it up.
Talk about that.
One thing that
We
concerned me...
want to get to that. What's most of the biggest rumors that are going around is, I mean, I have heard everything from why you would make a rumor that has to do with a 3-year-old is, if you're not going to help, please don't. If it's not helpful.
Stop. He doesn't even know his kid's age. I thought he was 2. Now he's 3. Overnight after he disappeared, he turned 3. Maybe it could have been his birthday that just passed. I don't know, but really? The news says 2-year-old. You're sitting here saying, in the beginning of my son, you know, he's so small, 2 years old, blah, blah, blah. And now he's 3? Shut the fuck up. What kind of piece of shit parents are these?
Yeah,
This is a 2, almost 3-year-old we're talking about. Please help us.
I spoke too soon. 2, almost 3. Okay, well, he's 2. So he say he's 2. Have some respect for your son.
But I've heard everything from, I am a truck driver. I've heard everything from my company, it won't let me come home off the road to look for my son. I was there the entire time, and my employer, 4 hours after my son went missing, has been up there day and night, has not slowed down.
his employer. How many people is this guy gonna throw in the mix in this investigation? Why are you not answering questions directly? Why is he keep throwing other people? The sheriff's department, the investigators, the volunteers, his employer. Who else is next? The fucking dog walker next door?
And that one bothered me, and then they got worse and they got worse and they got worse. But that's a handful of bad with a bunch of good. The amount of support is very overwhelming, and it's good.
Are there any rumors that you've seen or anything you want to clear up, Jessica?
Somebody at the store, Ledor said, it was one of the ladies that had worked at the store, said that they saw a gentleman and a younger blonde boy matching our description of our son, really filthy, buying candy for him, and he was just bawling in a black truck. That is the only
Here's the problem. My pickup
he
truck's
drives
black.
a black truck.
As a family, we went down to get a few things.
So it could have been
Earlier,
you.
it was earlier
me,
that
but
day.
they claim it was at 6 o'clock that evening, and we were search and rescue until what, 3:45?
Yeah, from
We haven't left the camp since 1 o'clock that afternoon. So it's just a lot of hearsay, and
Was anybody camping around you?
Let me eliminate myself right away by throwing myself in the middle of all this bullshit. Let me just tell you, I do have a black truck. The little boy did fit the description of my son, but it wasn't me and it wasn't my son. My head is about to explode.
that we don't know is, I come to find I didn't know the area, and I didn't know it's very open, but you can't see much.
Okay, he just contradicted himself again. They were surrounded by mountains. It was secluded. How was the area all of a sudden open? And again, he didn't know. He wants to make it clear to everybody. Crystal clear. He did not know the area. Do you guys get that? Everybody comment. I want everybody to say, in quote, he did not know the area. Because I don't know how many more times he's going to say this.
There's a road that goes up and along the top. We're camped underneath the reservoir, basically right below it. And you can go up above the reservoir, and I didn't even know the road was up there. And as I traveled up there myself, I come to find out I can see everything going on in that campsite, but you can't see out. You can't see up, you can't see around, and if anybody comes to the bottom of your campground, you can't even see who they are.
So they could have come into your camp.
They could have came in and you could never know it. And with the water was not a fast running, it's a creek, but it is quite loud moving through the logs and things like that. So hearing range is not all that far either, so you couldn't hear anybody coming up either.
Did you guys hear that? You couldn't hear anybody coming up. So if you can't hear anybody coming up, then you can't hear anybody going down, right? Again, secluded area. They're just contradicting themselves. They are telling everybody the area of where this crime happened. Yes, now it's a crime.
So he was just kind of playing, and you guys were doing your thing, and then you noticed.
He was playing with.
he was
He
with
was
my
playing with
grandfather.
Grandpa.
And their manipulations continue.
He was getting ready for a nap. I say it was almost, by that time it was almost 2, and he usually takes his nap. We decided we're going to go a little exploring. He was going to be good with Grandpa by the campfire. We weren't more than probably 50 yards away in 10 minutes. But by the time I seen him to the point I figured out he was gone.
Okay, go back. Shut up. Go back. How would he know his son disappeared and wasn't there if they were 10 minutes away from the creek? I'm just laughing because I'm so irritated. I'm trying to choose my words wisely so I don't go batshit crazy on these two morons. They went 10 minutes away. They were gone. They went exploring. First they went to look for a good fishing spot. Now it's just story changed. They just went exploring. Husband and wife went exploring, or couple, whoever the fuck they are. They went exploring, assuming the child was with the grandpa. So if you're assuming the child is with the grandpa, why would you all of a sudden get freaked out and paranoid about, oh my god, where's my kid? You just contradicted yourself. He just straight said he was playing with the grandpa. It was nap time. He was about to lay down and take a nap, or whatever the case is. So how did it go from laying down to take a nap because it's nap time, playing with grandpa, to all of a sudden I'm 10 minutes away without any cell service, according to them, because they couldn't call the grandpa to find out if the kid was there or not, right? I highly doubt they did, because according to them, they had to go down half a mile down the creek just so they can call 911. Their story is not adding up. How would they know that there's something wrong with the son, or the son is missing?
And I come back up in the creek, and I've actually seen there were some things down by the little minnows that I thought he would just love. So when I come back up to get him, and I yelled over to Grandpa, where's little Dior? He immediately shocked. He says, he came up to you because it's such a small area.
Now he's going back to it's such a small area. First, it's a small area, it's secluded, it's surrounded by mountains. Then about a minute and a half ago, he's saying, oh, it's such a big area, he could just disappear, he could just be anywhere. Now going back to being, it's such a small area again. Make up your mind. This is why liars cannot keep their story straight, because they lie on top of a lie on top of a lie, and then they forget what lies they said first to cover up their shit.
That's what a lot of people, they don't understand, is they just assume, how could you let your kid out of your sight? This area is pretty well blocked in, and you can see, there's no way you couldn't not see him in what we thought. And in just in a split second, your whole world is upside down.
I do believe in magic. I really do. I don't believe in unicorns though. A child does not just vanish into thin air. That's what he's trying to say. So my conclusion is, number one, I would be happy to help any which way I can. I don't know these people, never been there before, never met them, nothing. But I do feel bad for the boy. If they want to go back and investigate the area that they showed the investigators where they were at, I don't see that's where the boy went missing. I think they're lying. I do believe they're lying. Not I think, but I believe they're lying. Number two, I do see the child in a body of water and a lot of heavy rocks, a lot of debris put on top of the child. That's why when the father said, oh, it's such a small area, they searched the water, they did this, they did not search the exact location. And even if they did search the area, these people had 20 minutes, supposedly. It could have been longer. I don't see 20 minutes. I see longer. I see about 30 to 45 minutes before they called 911. But even 20 minutes, their words, that's enough time to get rid of a child's body, a 2-year-old. And if you guys notice how the father kept mentioning, oh, he's so small, and the creek itself, oh, he'll be in trouble if he goes in a creek. That means he's gonna fall in the water, he could drown, something could happen, he could get lost in the creek. And that's exactly what they did. The child is lost in the water. That is where I'm seeing the child is in a body of water, and they made sure that they cleaned up after their tracks. This is what I'm seeing as well. 100%, million% guarantee if the investigators went to the exact location where the child's body was at, they would actually see both parents' footprints in that mud, in that area where the water is at. They would have seen their shoe prints there, and they would have matched it up to the parents. I hope they don't get away with murder. Soon after they separated, this couple separated, she gets married to somebody that she had just only met for 6 weeks. And then on top of that, this father moves on with his life, and now that he has moved on, this woman now is pointing fingers at her ex, at the father, saying, you guys need to look into it because his story isn't adding up and he was acting kind of suspicious. Now that they're not together anymore, she's putting the heat on him to try to take it off of her. The case is not closed yet. It's still an open case. As far as I know, it's an ongoing investigation. But if they're smart, I don't know how much of evidence is left behind right now because it has been years. I'm pretty sure they'll find some kind of remains of the child. Something is there. I could see it, and I see the child underwater. And the investigators just went right over. They're not good liars, at least not to me. I believe that these parents have something to do with the child's disappearance because their story is not adding up. Even a blind person can see. But that's it for this case. I want you guys to subscribe. Love you guys. I'll see you guys next time.